What's up, cyber locals? Today's video we'll be learning how to make custom gaming macros with Python. This tutorial is not just for good programmers, but for gamers as well. So welcome to another episode with the cyber local. Let's get started. So we'll start out today's video with the GitHub repository. It is called the PyAutoGUI by the cyber local, and we have 4 packages, or files really. Macros, draw, main, and mouse monitor. So rather than working through them on the GitHub repository, we're going to do them on the PyCharm editor, my favorite Python editor. And so we'll walk you through the lines of code really. First line is import PyAutoGUI. That's necessary because we have to get the Python package into here so that way we don't have to type all the background stuff that goes on. Next, we're going to set these variables. Really, they're just necessary so I don't end up with a bunch of red lines that don't like the code because this isn't a runnable file. Next, we have screen width and screen height. These are set equal to the PyAutoGUI.size. So this will actually give you your pixels width dimensions of your screen and the height dimension of your screen in pixels returned to these variables. Next, current mouse X and current mouse Y, PyAutoGUI.position. Okay, so what that gets you is the mouse X and Y position of the mouse. So this will be your X and your Y in pixels, of course, not inches or feet. Screen probably couldn't be measured in feet on some computers to get really tiny. Next is X width and Y width. So I just set these to 100 each because whatever. I'm just going to set them to something, and I'll tell you about that in a moment. Next tool is PyAutoGUI.locate on screen. Okay, this is a more advanced tool. However, I will discuss it briefly. First, we pass in a picture, a PNG. Now, I don't know if it works with JPEGs, but I'm pretty sure it does. Next, it will check. You pass in the region. So this is screen width and screen height, basically saying how far you want to go over to the right and then how far you want to check down. And then if you pass in the X and Y, this will give you your box to search. Now let me draw it up for you. So pretend this whole white area is your screen, and let's say it's 2000 pixels wide and 2000 pixels down. We pass in screen width, which would be 500 and 500. So screen width will go 500 over, which is about a quarter of 2000, then 500 down. All right, this is where you'll start. Then you pass in your box dimensions, width and height. Now this is 100 and 100, so we're just going to go about there, 100 and 100. So we just made a box. Now this box is where we're being told to search on the screen. So you don't need this. You can actually get rid of it, I believe, entirely, just like that, and it's good. And it'll just automatically search the entire screen. However, this does take longer. Now, grayscale makes it faster as well. I always use it. I don't find a time when I don't need grayscale. And confidence is the amount of match. So what this tool does is it locates on the screen an image and then returns you the X and Y coordinates of that image. All right, now that can be so useful because you need to be able to find like a button on a game. Let's say you want to make a macro that automatically clicks a button that's shaped a certain way that isn't always in the same spot. Let's say you need to, let's say whack-a-mole, all right? You want to whack-a-mole on the computer, tap that mole. Well, guess what? If you have an image of that mole saved, then you can just say tap that image. And then when you press that key, it plays the macro and then clicks that image, no matter where on the screen it is. Now, locate on screen. That is, locate center on screen, really. That is the same thing, just rather than returning this spot, the top left coordinate in that box. So let's say here is your image right here. It'll return your top left of that box. So this spot right here. Well, rather than doing that, it'll return the center of your box. Let me zoom in a little. So rather returning the top left, it'll return the center of the box, the little dot right here I made. Okay, so next we have RGB. Okay, so PyAutoGUI.pixel_xy. That means you input an X coordinate and a Y coordinate of the pixels of the screen, so X over, Y down, and then it will return you the RGB code of that pixel. This is very useful for trying to click a certain color. So if you were to say, hey, computer, click this color, you need to know what color it is. So guess what? I made a tool for that, mouse monitor. So this tool is very useful because it runs in a while loop, and using the PyAutoGUI module times, so it slows it down and it doesn't just write it out on the screen infinitely fast. Current mouse X and current mouse Y are given by the PyAutoGUI.position. The next line is X, print the mouse X coordinate, then print the mouse Y coordinate. Next is RGB is equal to PyAutoGUI.pixel of the mouse's X and Y coordinate, and then it prints the RGB, R, G, and B variables, and then it waits a quarter second. So let's see what this looks like. Down here you can see it's printing out the X coordinate and the Y coordinate. Then it's printing the RGB code of where your mouse is pointing. So right here you can see, let me pause it. Right here you could see the X coordinate and the Y coordinate. So where my mouse was 84 pixels X and 1505 Y, and the pixels RGB code was 137, 82, and 81. So if you wanted to place your mouse on a point on the screen, like let's say this red up here, and you want to point your pointer on that and look on the bottom left, you'll see that it has an RGB code of 199, 84, and 80. All right, so next you need to know the position. Let's say the X and the Y, 3176, X, and then a Y of 109. Let's say you want to program a macro where when you press a key button, you want it to click that button, but you don't want it to search for the image on the screen because that takes longer. You want to just say, click this spot, this coordinate on the screen instantly, and it'll do it almost instantly. Well, you need that coordinate. Well, this will return it. So now we can back out of this, and now we're almost done with that second mod. We're done with the second module. We'll still work on this first one. Scrolling down, let's actually zoom out and see how further we have to go. Click. PyAutoGUI.click. This will click the mouse. Pretty simple. PyAutoGUI.click, two coordinates. Move the mouse to XY and click it. Okay, so let's say we want to click 100 X and 200 Y. It'll move our mouse automatically over and then click it. PyAutoGUI.click, and then a file name. This is very interesting. Find where the button .png appears on the screen and click it. That is useful. You just put in an image of the button and then it clicks it. That's brilliant. PyAutoGUI.move. So this will move your mouse 10 pixels down from the current position, and that's because Y of 10 is measured in downwards direction, and X is rightwards direction. So let's say my mouse is right here. Oh, actually, let's start on the paintboard. So let's say my mouse is right here. An X of whatever number, let's say 5, we'll move it 5 pixels over to the right, and then a Y of 10 will move it 10 pixels down. So then it'll move our mouse from this position right here to this position right here. However, this is different. Move 2 will move it to the X and Y coordinates. So it'll actually be at the very top of the screen. So no matter where your mouse is, it'll move it from where it was to the top, over and down before you can even realize it. So it'll actually just go straight from where it was and go directly to right here faster than you can even see because it warps. It doesn't just move. Next is PyAutoGUI.click. Clicks equals 2. This will double click. PyAutoGUI.clicks clicks equals 2. Interval of a quarter. This will wait a quarter second. Double click the left mouse button with a quarter second pause in between. Alright, so that can be useful if you don't want to click too fast, you want to give it some time to catch up, because as you can see in our demonstration we're going to do with the clicks per second, it's going to be real fun. It'll glitch up if you go too fast. Next is click right. Okay, so button right. Triple click the right mouse button with a quarter second pause in between clicks. Okay, so this is 3 clicks, so triple click right mouse button and interval quarter second. Okay, so that makes sense. Moving on. Drag 2. We have 100, 200, button equals left. And so what that'll do is, just like the move and the move to, drag 2 will go from the coordinates. So the top left over to the right 100 pixels, down 200 pixels, and then left click the button. Actually, drag means holding, so it'll hold it down and then drag down. So if this was the top of the screen, it would go over and then down, dragging the button from the top left of the screen. Now drag, on the other hand, 30, 0, and 2, and then button of this, drag the mouse 30 pixels over and 2 seconds. Okay, so this is the interval, the time, so it'll it'll do it over the course of 2 seconds, and the coordinates are 30x and 0y. So it'll move 30 to the right, 30 pixels to the right, 0 pixels down, and it'll take 2 seconds to do so. And the button is right, so it'll right click. Next, we have PyAutoGUI.write. So it will literally type out hello world. That's because that's what we want it to type out, apparently. And the interval of a quarter. So it'll type with quarter-second pauses in between each letter. I think that's a little slow. I preferably, if I wanted it to type something, would just want it to be instant, but there are cases where you do want it to slow down. There have been those problems. Press escape. Wow, that sounds pretty simple. Press the escape key. Brilliant. Who would have thought that meant press the escape key? Alright, so what if we wanted to type a letter uppercase A? That can't be that easy if you're just going to press A. How are you going to do that? You can't press shift and then press A. It doesn't work. I just tried it, just by the way. Key down, okay? So key down will actually hold it down. So hold down shift, then press, oh, and we have something new here, in brackets. Left, left, left. So this will press the left arrow 4 times. Well, I guess we could have just wrote clicks like type that times 3 or something. I don't know. Maybe. But if we had different ones and we wanted it to do all in the same line, rather than writing press escape, then press left, then press something else, we should just put it all in the same line. So that can be useful. And then key up shift. So then it lets go of the shift key. And then we can press like uppercase A if we made it say shift and then we typed it say A, and then, or we could just write right A uppercase. That could be useful too. We're not going to go over these because they are just as complicated as these are more programmer level stuff for useful. But here's the bottom, and this is all the things that are in the Python for recognition, like a 9, that is a useful character. A times, it knows what that is. For programmers, you can just look at this stuff and say when left, when right. That's if you have 2 Windows buttons, apparently. Stop, space, scroll, whole bunch of stuff. So gamers, you don't need to know that, but programmers might want to know. Alright, so we have finished the main Python file and the mouse monitor file. Next is the fun part. I saved the fun part for last. I told you earlier. Draw. Alright, so we are going to go to Paint, and we are going to make a program that draws, because it will be fun. So let's get rid of that and pull out the paintbrush. Alright, so as you can see, I just draw things by holding down the mouse. Well, guess what we've learned? How to move the mouse and how to drag. So we're going to go to the draw file. It imports Python, imports time, and that's PyAutoGUI, by the way, not Python. Time.sleep of 5 seconds. Wait, we wrote it as 1/10 of a second, and distance of 200. We're going to make it 1,000 for this example, 1,000 pixels. PyAutoGUI.move. This is just an equation. Programmers might be able to find this out. Gamers, forget what it means. This is also probably just all for programmers, but this is really cool. So drag the distance, which is 1,000, and 0y for a duration of 1/10 of a second. Moves mouse to the right. Then distance minus equals 5. PyAutoGUI.drag 0x, and then y of distance, which is just 5 less than before of the x duration distance, and then wait 1/10 of a second. Move down. Move left means move distance left, and then 0, and then duration, wait, minus, move up, So you get it. Move right, move down, move left, move up, and less distance each time. Let's see what it does. So I put a 5-second wait. We're going to hit draw. We're going to hit run. We're going to open the printer and put my mouse in the middle of the screen, and it is going to do something. It is drawing a square, and each time it makes a loop, it gets 5 pixels smaller. So it's actually making like this tunnel. Looks like it's going in further or either out. I can see it both ways. Depends on how you look at it. Or it could just be a square. But either way, it's very hypnotic, apparently, because it's bothering my eyes. But it's pretty cool. If you wanted to make like a circle, there's an equation for that. If you want to make a triangle, there's an equation for that. If you wanted to draw pretty much anything, there is an equation. And there it is. It could also be a pyramid if you're looking at it from the top. Alright, so that is drawn by a robot. This is pretty cool. Might want to save this in a picture frame or something if you just made it for the first time. Maybe not. Alright, so I'm going to delete that back out. And that wraps it up for the draw. That was our fun part. And now for the macros. We are ready for the macros. Alright, so here's the macros file. From PyInput, which is PyInput, import keyboard as key. Alright. From PyAutoGUI, import click and import sys, which is system. Define close hotkeys, clicker, click power 1, click power 2, click power 3, with key.global hotkeys in parentheses and curly brackets as h, and then h.join. Don't know quite what the outsides mean. I know that it's grouping it, but let's get into it. So the control is obviously what this button does, is calls close hotkeys. Alternate calls clicker. Q, W, and E call click power 1, 2, and 3. Pretty simple. You just write the key thing that you wanted, and these are all listed at the bottom of the main file. Volume mute, Windows button, FN, F13. Nobody has an F13 button. That doesn't make sense. F1. So if you make one of those buttons what the macros are, then you can put it in here and it'll be your macro. And so I tried escape. For some reason it didn't work, but then I've had it work before, so depends on your computer, I guess. Those calling features, click power 1, 2, and 3, are all these functions. Click power 1, 2, and 3. And now we can do what the fun part was, which was all the things we've learned. Click image, type, write, do things, cool things, and put them all into these functions. So right here we have click these coordinates, and these coordinates. Well, guess what? I used the mouse monitor to tell me what the coordinates of clicking the powers 1, 2, and 3 were, and then put them into here, here, and here. So I can put my mouse wherever I want, press Q, W, or E, and it'll instantly jump over to the coordinate and click the button. And if I wanted to, I could even say get the mouse's position before moving, then click the button, and then move to where the position was before. And then it'll be like, my mouse was here. It jumps up, clicks the button of the power button, and then warps right back to where it was. Then I didn't even have to move my mouse, and it's back before you can blink. It is pretty awesome. Very awesome. I've used it in a few game macros. Now, the last fun part of the video, alright? The last fun part, because this wraps up our video with something really cool to get to see. And this is a rapid clicker. You can see that my clicker and clicks equals 15. And I have the clicker as the alternate key. So what we're going to do is we're going to hit run. Alright? Nothing's happening. No clicker. Guess what? Because I'm not holding the alternate key. But the moment I hit alternate key, it's going to click 15 times. Because what happens is, it imports the modules. It calls PyAutoGUI and then click. Then uses click. Uses these modules. Controls the alt. Calls click. Click equals 15 clicks. And boom, it clicks it 15 times. So you don't need to understand that. All you got to do is change out these to whatever you want, or modify, or make do. And let's try it out. So we are going to cpstest.org, and we're going to go to a 1-second test. Now, remember what the hotkey was. It was alternate. So I'm going to put my mouse here. First, I'm going to show you how good I do, because I'm pretty good. I'm a panda, okay? So that is probably why I created this program, because I'm a panda. And that is 6 clicks per second. Not that great, alright? Try again. Let's see how fast I can go. Let's use 2 fingers. 11, alright? I got 11 clicks per second with double tapping fingers. That is a little slower than, should have been 12 because I had 6 speed. Well, I guess my left hand is a little slower than the other hand. Alright, so 11 clicks per second if I use double fingers. Now let's see what the robot can do. Alternate. Did exactly 15 clicks. Okay, so you want to know how fast it can go. What number can we make it go to? By the way, this could crash your computer if you did like 10 million or something ridiculous. So I don't recommend doing that. However, I'm going to jump right to 100, and we're going to hit stop the program. I actually could have just hit control because that'll close the program, close hotkeys, which does exit. So let's hit start, go back, do this, and press alternate. It clicked 100 times in 1 second, which is 100 clicks per second. Makes sense. Alright, so let's see how much faster it can go. Let's just jump into 1,000. Alright, run. Actually, I gotta stop the previous program. And start. And go. And it froze up, kind of. 1,000 clicks per second. That is what programming looks like at its best. Now, you do not want to have it this fast for a video game. You will probably not even register as clicking if it is this fast, alright? It will just go click before it can even register. So what you need to do is find out what speed is the fastest that the game will allow and reliably respond to. So this can be roughly 15 clicks per second, maybe. Oh, and it's not doing 15 clicks per second, by the way. It's actually doing it as fast as possible, and it's only on a 1-second challenge. So within that 1 second, it clicks 15 times. Because as we see right here, it doesn't have a wait. It just clicks. So let's do 2,000 and start. Open and press the alternate hotkey and clicks, and it's really frozen up. It's frozen up more so than the last time, and let's see what it does. 2,000 clicks. Yes, we did it. We did 2,000 clicks per second, and let's do something really ridiculous. Let's do 5,000, even though we just had some serious problems right there. And we're going to use a control hotkey, and as you can see, the process finished with an exit code of 0, which for programmers would know, but gamers may not. That is good. It means there were no problems. Let's rerun this macros, and we will go to the website, and let's try 5,000 clicks. Alternate. Oh, wow. It's got 3 green ripples, and now it's a dark green single ball. Let's see what happens. I'm curious to know, will it make all 5,000 clicks within that 1 second? Or like, what's happening? Okay, okay. Come on. Please don't freeze out on me. If this works, we are not going to go any higher. We're going to call it success. Hello? Please respond. Uh-oh. My Chrome stopped working. I can't scroll. Can I click a different tab? Okay, I could click a different tab. This tab is glitched out. So, alright, so we still have this website, and it still works, the clicks per second test. And, okay, 5.8. It works. But this website froze out, and as you can see, going too fast will cause problems. So, You want to make sure that it is not too fast, and that is why for my example I wrote 15, because any computer can click 15 times pretty quickly. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please drop a like if you found this video entertaining or useful. Also, don't forget to subscribe and click the bell icon to stay updated for more exciting videos. If you liked my virtual desktop plant, you can check it out on Etsy. I'll put a link in the description. And so that wraps up today's video. You can do anything. Local out.